Hey, welcome artists and art fans. Thank you guys for tuning into the only spot where we talk to your Instagram artists about their tools, their trade, and some tips. Today's guest is Abe Duenas. Abe Duenas art, you'll definitely find him. Make sure you guys go back and listen to episode 1 or part 1 of this. Very interesting, very informative show as well. And also go ahead and go to Chatting with Zim on YouTube. Make sure you check out the rest of the other artists as well. Definitely a huge list. So make sure you guys are going out there and liking and subscribing. And thank you very much for coming back, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks again, Abe, for your time, brother. Appreciate that, man.
No, man, this has been fun.
I told you.
No, that was great.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, I told you. Cool, man. So we left off at you making second prize, which is a portrait of you or anyone you recommend, except anybody famous.
Right. No, nobody iconic. I don't want you requesting commission of Donald Trump doing something I wouldn't want to draw. I know the way you guys think. I've seen your stuff.
And we're gonna get to this right now. We're gonna get to that. So, yeah. So let's go ahead. What do you want to do? Question, trivia.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with all right. Maybe it's more of a guess. Out of the, you got the top 3. So you got a 1 in 3 chance of winning this. I'm a big Star Wars guy. Star Wars is my thing. Star Wars is what made me want to get into films. Out of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, or let's go with Chewbacca. Who is my guy? Who's the guy I was like, I'm gonna imitate this guy. This is my. Somebody just asked me this the other day. That's why I thought of it.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah,
can't go wrong with that.
So, guess right. Go for it.
And nobody, Joe DT says Han Solo, as well as Mr. D says definitely Chewie. And that's it for now.
That's it. Nope. Nobody got it. I guess nobody gets the drawing.
Hey, can't win them all.
They're like, he would never like a white guy.
No white guys right now. Oh my God. You said it, not me.
I'm just saying, like, you guys are racist, not me. See, I wasn't racist.
Oh,
you assumed. I didn't even know I was Mexican until I was 8.
Oh my God.
I didn't think there was a... You just get back from the flea market?
No, I bought it for my
That's
daughter.
awesome.
But check it out. Watch.
Nice.
Oh my God.
So cool.
It's my little bird of truth. Yeah, man. So also nobody's answered the other question as well. So this is my question.
Hey,
if you guys...
I'm gonna give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. Can I give him a hint?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, for your question. The villain I was talking about in the Wolverine comic book, he appeared in this comic book. I'm gonna put the number out, block the number out, because I know you guys. There it is, right there. He appeared in this issue. All right. So if you guess who Wolverine fought and beat in this issue, then you win Zim's awesome artwork.
So there you go.
It's an awesome piece of artwork. That's why we're making it a little bit more challenging. You guys had a chance to screenshot that, do a Google image search. Hey, you might figure it out. A little bit of homework.
Yep. And I'll definitely post the winner once I get it. So
I'm not gonna tell you the issue. That's like telling you the who did it. You gotta screenshot this. Here, I'm gonna give you another that. Screenshot that. Do an image search. Do a Google image search. All right. No more freebies.
There you go. No more freebies.
Everyone's just guessing. They're throwing caca against the wall to see if it sticks.
True. Um,
Oh,
man,
sorry,
so
TJ. I didn't know you just got it. All right, but you just guessed two though.
so so man, so just being so once again, for you guys that missed it, Abe is a master and a master of all, jack of trades. There, from filmmaking to cosplaying to sculpting to doing art. Um, and the list goes on. You know what I mean? Uh, so just knowing that, how do you balance your daily art life, man?
Oh, I think it, I think it's probably um, I'm super moody. Okay, and so my mood can switch to like right now. I'm working on a commission, and it's taking me a while. And it's actually, let me see. I'll show you. I think it's right here. I'm almost finished. I got the concept down. But this is it's a. I have four more other pieces. This is going to be a complete sphere, and
Okay.
I'm gonna polish it and then heat it up. But it's just one element of a sculpture I'm working on. And I got the commission right before COVID broke out. And I was super pumped. I was like, but then if I get depressed or anything, it's like you just let the air out of the tire, you know.
Mm.
I don't know why I'm like that. I think it just comes from I guess maybe every artist is a certain level where we got I don't know what you call it, self-esteem issues probably. We're
Mm-hmm.
a little unsure of ourselves. We need validation because we might think something's great, but you've probably experienced it. I know I have. You gone to a show when you're first getting started or whatever, and you're putting your heart out on the table is really what you're doing. Because everything that you put in to your work, you don't just put something out to think, oh, I'm doing this because I want to make money. No, you're doing something because it means something to you,
Mm-hmm.
and something's telling you you got to draw this. And so it's not we don't draw things so that yeah because they're gonna like it. I mean, there are people that do that. They're called, they work for comic books and stuff. But to you, go out on your own and go to the remate and sell your goods, you're really, I mean, you're putting it all out there. And for
Mm-hmm.
somebody to say, man, this is worthless, or to kind of even hint at it, or just not, walk away not making one sale, it's a huge blow. Like I said, it's one of those things that can make you want to quit. But it's I'm focused on how I feel when I'm creating the work and why I'm creating it. That high I get from just being able to make this stuff, whether somebody buys it or not, because I've been in it long enough to know that eventually somebody will come across it and they will lay down the cash immediately. I had this one sculpture I made that it was three vines that went up, and they were holding those little remember those insulators that they used to use for telegraph poles. They're glass, and they would go on top of telephone poles, and they would run the wires around it so that you wouldn't get shocked. But
Mm. Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
glass. Well, I made little lampshades out of those and put little LED lights in it. And so people would ask me and say, "Hey, how much is that?" And I was like, $150. And they're like, "Oh, okay." And they'd walk away. Oh, I had that thing for years, and it wasn't until I went to another show, and I was just going to the show to just put stuff out, more of an advertisement for me. And the lady comes up and says, "How much is that?" $150. She's like, "Don't. I'll be right back. Don't sell it." I'm like, I haven't sold it in like 8 years later.
Lady, it's been here since generations. What are you talking about?
And so at that point, I almost, and it's probably, you feel this too. You're like, oh, you don't want to let it go.
Yeah,
you're, so,
well,
you're so
yeah.
stupid because you get your feelings hurt because nobody wanted it. And as soon as somebody wants it, you're like, oh, I'm a little attached to it now. And then my daughter's like, you're going to sell that. You haven't sold nothing. So I'm gonna tell my mom. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? It's like the emotions, they affect you so much And so when I have a commission, I take that even more seriously than me wanting to do my own thing,
Mm-hmm.
because they hired my style, they hired my abilities, and if I can't give them 100%, if I go at it and just, you know what, I just have to get this done because I want to get paid. I can't make myself do that. The guy that this is for, he's called me a couple times. He's like, hey. And one week I was out of commission because I had poison ivy all over my body and I couldn't do anything. But if I am not feeling it and you make me work on your stuff, it's a commission. It's not going to come out good. So I don't think it is, and I
Mm-hmm.
just can't get motivated. But now I have, it's the lights at the end of the tunnel. I can see it in my head. I've actually altered the design just a little bit to be better. And I know that when I tell him the interpretation of the sculpture, he's like, "Oh my goodness, this is exactly what I wanted,"
Sweet.
and that will have made it worth it. So I think moods just play into it too much,
Okay.
for commissions especially.
Cool. I mean, just just a little bit about myself as far as that. For me, I art. I've been doing it for so long. I'm 34. I've been doing it since
Right.
I was 11, 12. To me, art is so out of this realm for me that I don't really get emotional about it. To me, it's more like when I'm doing art, I don't
And
I don't think about anything. I could be
yeah.
mad, start drawing.
Mm,
Once I finish my piece, I forgot what I was mad about. I could be
right.
depressed, I could be sad, and art is my escape, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
When I'm drawing personally, I leave all my emotions and I just get to work. So
I
it's cool.
really I think, and you know what? We're so messed up. Our environment messes us up so much. I think it all. This is now I'm getting all philosophical on you.
Hmm.
I think it all comes down to being. That's the way we were made. Um, think about it. We are. However, if you believe in evolution or whatever, that's whatever. That's fine. That's your business. But we're talking about me, so I'm telling you about what I believe. And so I feel like we were created. That the word right there, creative. I mean, I wish I would have told my dad. He said, "Hey, man, artists don't make money." I'm like, "Well, God is the greatest creator in the universe, so you're telling me not to be like God." That, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He knew that doing stuff, making whether you're in construction and you like to build houses, that's creative. Think about it. Everybody does something creative, but what we do is like it's when people say creative, they automatically think of art. They don't think about building a car, actually coming up with mathematical equations so that we could do Photoshop. You know what I mean? All those
Hmm.
things. There's creation in everything. So I feel like that's the way we're made. And to think otherwise and to try to explain it any other way, it just doesn't equate. It doesn't add up.
Yeah, and I also think it's a generational kind of thing because my mother, as far as before I started doing the show, I used to have my second job, which I would go out and Uber.
Mm,
But uh, once I started the show, I'm doing this show because I wanted to meet people. I wanted to meet other artists. There's I've seen shows, but where they talk to like your professional comic book artist, and it's like, well, what about me? What about somebody like me coming up?
hmm
Where's the voice for us? So I pretty much went and did the show, and my mom,
Yeah.
she's all like, oh well, are you making money off of it? And it's like, ma,
hmm
it's not about the money,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like they say, do what you love, and then the money will come.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's like honestly, I'm doing this, just taking my time, and if it comes, it comes. I'm not. It's nothing that I'm striving for. I'm not out looking for money and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
I think that's what it comes down to. Right now, I mean, I'm super fortunate. Literally, I thank God every day that I have a job that I still get to be creative at. I take photographs of all, and it's always changing. It's never the same part. The subjects are super cooperative. I used to take pictures of people, and you'll get one day when it's not such a great experience. So I have a pretty easy job as far as like I know what I gotta do. It doesn't take a lot of emotional energy from me. So I do have, to answer your question, where does all this time come from? Well, now I have all this stored up creativity that I get to spend. Like I said, every night. Today, right now, it's drawing. It might be something else. It might just be writing, working on a script. But if I feel like I want to do something, and well, I just shift, and I'm gonna do that because I know I got my job handling things. That's paying all the bills, and it's a little extra money that I get from doing, other things. Is just money I put in the bank account where if I want to buy something that helps me do something creative, I do that. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's therapeutic.
No, word. Um, are you just exclusive to Instagram, or can we find you besides your website? Can we find
Oh,
you at any other social
yeah.
media out there?
Actually, I'm on Twitter as Abe Duenas. Just at Abe Duenas. My same thing with Facebook. I'm on actually under Abraham Duenas, but there's an Abe Duenas account that I never use. Uh, you can tell that one just looks younger. The one that looks younger is not me. The one
Nice.
that looks old and black and all dark, that's me. That's the one I use. And I have like a studio page under my Facebook account in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you are you what's the word I'm looking for? Are you active on these as well
Yeah.
as much as you are on
Oh yeah.
Instagram? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I am. They're actually, I think my Instagram account, the Abe Duenas, the at Abe Duenas,
Hmm.
that one has a little bit. That's the first account I made. It has a little bit of my photography, a little bit of my daily life, like what I like to eat and all that other nonsense. And then the other accounts are strictly more. One's Abe Duenas Studio is mostly for my like three-dimensional artwork. I have a sewing page that really not too active on, not sewing in stores, depending on what I'm doing. Oh, there's that lamp
Hmm.
I'm telling you about. That not sewn in stores is my cosplay page, and then the Abe doing art is my 2D page, which is like my newer page.
You got to tell me about this, but
Okay,
before that, wait,
yeah.
before
Oh no,
that,
no, yeah, go for it.
so here's a piece. Yeah, I'm guessing you made this.
Yeah, that's a copper mask, like a surgical mask, kind of more. It's already gone. It's in a museum. It's gonna be in a museum here locally to
That's
commemorate
awesome, dude.
what's gone. They got a little too comfortable with me because they're like, "Hey, Abe, can you just donate this to us?"
Uh,
I was like, if I wasn't already doing a job for you, I'd say no, but I'm doing a job for you, so I'm gonna just add it in there at
oh,
the final.
nice. Uh,
But yeah, so
what a nice guy, man.
well, I figure a lot more people are gonna see it there. So
Dude, these are crazy. Look at that.
yeah, that was actually for a guy that retired where we worked. After he had been there for 30 years, and so I made him that. He's a Gamecock fan, so I made
Okay.
him a.
All right. I could just sit here and just like all over it.
That's
Let's
the
go ahead.
Mandalorian armor there.
Right here.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that, but I'm like, nah, it can't be.
it is.
Because I seen this the giant, so I'm like, oh, maybe he's doing like a face or something for him, you know?
No, the Iron Giant's gonna be a lamp. It's
Okay.
actually like a little LED lamp. Yeah.
Oh, this is
It-
gonna be. Is the armor for you?
no, I was just making it. It's one of those things that man, I'm gonna make this. I found the template and I'm
Uh
gonna go
huh.
shape it. I don't see because you see all the Mandalorian armors they make them out of PVC and they paint it to look metal. And I've
Mm-hmm.
never seen one that was actually metal. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna up the ante on these guys, and I'm gonna
Nice.
I'm gonna make myself a metals one. You know,
And this, I saw this.
yeah.
Big big fan of Thor's hammer, man.
Oh, thanks, Fat Captain. Yeah, that Thor's hammer, believe it has a cool story. The There was a guy that has, I think he's in I can't remember what branch of the military he's in. I think he's either Marines or Army. I can't remember. but his unit, they have their symbol is a war hammer. And he
Okay.
and he told me, hey man, can you make me a war hammer? My whole unit's gonna pitch in to buy this thing, and we want to use it as our I guess like their little thing that they use to motivate. Like whoever hustles the most gets to hold the hammer and carry it.
Oh, okay.
And they actually do training exercises. He told me, he's like, we want to be able to knock down doors with this hammer. So make this hammer around 20 pounds. And so that hammer, the head, it's hollow, but I made it 20 pounds. It's heavy.
Man.
And so I actually made a replica of Thor's hammer, but I made it, I think, maybe 12 inches or 10 inches longer. So they have more of a swing, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I made the end of it on my lathe. I made all the rings on it, and it's wrapped in leather. And it's actually on the end of it, you know, the bottom of it where it sits, it's
Mm.
got their medallion for their unit, and it's like a screaming goat. I think it's a screaming goat or a ram. And then they have another emblem that's a castle that I made little castles, and they're welded on the sides, and
Okay.
they're all etched with acid, so they got like a little look, you know, they're got an indentation or whatever you call it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was super fun to make.
It looks cool, man. It
That's another
looks
one of those that you've done. You're like, yeah, you know what? Here's your money back. I'm keeping this.
right. For real. Um. Also, I seen on your website classes.
Right.
Still teaching, and if you are, where can people sign up for stuff like that? Where?
Believe it or not, due to the COVID, some of the classes we're going to be doing online, like the painting classes,
Oh, nice.
filmmaking classes, and the filmmaking class, especially the first half, is going to be focused more on pre-production, on what do you need before you even get out on set, as far as like, okay, does your screen suck? All right, you know, send me your script. Does it suck? And you know, what's wrong with it? We're gonna write a one-page script, and then the whole process is to basically act it out in front of a camera, with the mics and the lights and everything, and then edit it, and then release a 1 minute, you know, little clip,
Mm.
so that people can get a taste of what it takes to produce a film, and then you know go out there and get it done.
And is there like a link for this up
Oh
yet,
yeah,
or?
yeah. They actually, I think that class was last week, but we had to reschedule it. We're gonna be doing it again probably in middle of July, and you can just go to abeduenas.com, and you, like you say, all the little links there, you know, photography and everything, but the classes is the last one. You click on that, and in one of the whatever class you're interested in, some of them got rescheduled. Basically just fill out the contact form, let me know you're interested in, maybe, you know, either participating in it, or uh, if the date hasn't passed yet, or signing up for the next one. And these are actually, believe it or not, are free, because I got a grant
Oh, wow.
from a local, I guess you would call it a cultural organization. And so I applied for a grant to teach classes, and I won the grant. And so I got, like, I think like $5,000. And so it covers the tuition and supplies that, if any, are needed.
And there you go. Your name, people, your email address, and your message. And then you hit this nice little submit, abeduenas.com. It's pinned down below.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested, definitely hit them up. Sounds
Yeah.
like fun.
I mean, yeah, it's we did a painting class that was fun, you know. We it's called a Zorn palette, and you basically have a yellow, a red, a black, and white. Those are the only four colors that you use, and from those you have a wide array of colors. Um, it's almost kind of like man, I don't want. I have a color plates right here that I did in the past, but this is just based on red. So all these are mixed
Okay.
to just, you know. So the Zorn color palette is like this, but you get a lot more variation. And it's kind of like the thought of, a magenta, cyan, and black
Hmm.
in your printer. It's basically
Okay.
the same principle that you can mix just about any color using these limited colors.
Yeah, using the oh geez, my mind is blanking right now. The primary colors.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's based
yeah,
on that.
cool, man. Let's date my firmware right now. Thank you though, iPhone. Um, if you had superpowers, what would it be?
Healing. I want to be like Wolverine
Ah,
because you can pretty
nice.
much you can fly, like and if something goes wrong, it don't matter. You know, uh,
Something goes
uh,
wrong,
test pilots only get one life. If you're Wolverine, just do it again. And
right?
I mean, I think about it. Why is he so feared? Because he goes in there don't not caring because he knows I'm probably going to make it. Um,
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Well, that's a good answer. I think that's one of the first ones I got in as far as healing factor.
mhm.
Um, let's talk about something that's very big in the for us artists,
Right.
and that would be pricing.
Mm,
You know, it's
right.
like how two-part question. How do you price it, or how do you come about your own prices? And what are some of the tips that you might recommend for somebody else trying to sell their work?
Okay, so man, I actually wanted, how you see all these podcasts and or whatever webinars saying how you go from here to here,
Hmm.
and then I you always hear like, oh, be kind, oh, do stuff for other people, but no one really ever tells you the specifics. So there are specifics to be able to get to a certain point. And I can remember this one guy, this old dude, he was blacksmith. I said, hey man, how do you price your how are you making it? And then he took his hat off. He's like, you know what, Abe? People pay me because of the color of my hair. And he put his hat on and he took off. And I was like, listen here, Mr. Miyagi, you to I want you to interpret that answer. I need you to interpret that for me. And so I figured out, well, his experience.
Yeah.
They pay me for the experience. He's like, I can make $10,000 more than you on the same project because of this. And I was like, all right, I get it. And so there's all these little variables as far as I can tell you step by step how I got to barely not even making it and making it now. And a lot of it has to do with networking. And people say that you've heard that. Hey, this is how you network. Yeah, but networking is about one. If you're shy, I was very shy. Is just going out there and having goals. When you're at a networking event, don't go there thinking I need to sell something. That was my approach, and I was a huge turnoff to people. My approach should have been I'm going to a networking event because I just need to connect with somebody. All right, okay, this guy over here is wearing this. All right, he likes this team. Hey man, how do you think the Patriots are going to do today this week year? He's like, oh man, it was just about connecting. That's where the true networking actually pays off, because they'll if you go show interest to somebody, naturally we're made to return the favor. And they're like, so if I'm wearing my Browns hat, so you guys ever gonna win a Super Bowl? I'm like, yeah, screw you, you know what I mean? So you get the conversation going, and so that's the way I've approached it lately. And you can't expect a return on immediately. No, it will come, um, and but you have to just stay patient. That's why having a regular 9 to 5 is so important, because, like I said, when you get to that level of, oh, there's 1,000 people that want to support me, then you go ahead and quit your job because you've made it. You're a made man at that point.
And for those who are wondering what is he talking about, thousand supporters, that's definitely answered in part one
Right.
of our interview. So definitely go back and hear it. Very very
Right.
interesting. Great perspective. I like it. Uh, so so experience, I guess, would be your answer as far as pricing it.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I think
know?
pricing. When I first started, um, I think about, professional fields. Where do I, as an artist, fall into? And that same old dude I was telling you, I hounded him, and I told him, look, dude, thank you for getting all philosophical with me, but I needed, I paid to get in here in this whole convention. It was a convention just for iron workers and blacksmiths.
Okay.
So I told him, I need to come away. You need to help me. I'm not even competition for you. You're in Ohio. I'm in South Carolina. So break it down for me. How you go to do a job? What's your process? And he told, okay, all right, this is what I do, Abe. We're talking about just blacksmith, but it applies to a lot of things. He's like, okay, you figure out this is your materials. The materials cost you just out of the bank. When you go wholesale, I said, yeah. It says I have a markup. Depending on trying to determine if it's a client, if it's a government contract, they'll pay the most money.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just, grandma barely getting by and needs a handrail, you might not even be able to mark it up. So you have to figure out that. You have to feel that out. And that's where your profit comes on your materials. So you figure out the percentage of what you mark up on the materials. I said, now how much time? It says, if you were to go find a job, all right, like let's say I was welding at the time and I had quit my job. It says, how much were you making? $20 an hour. Okay, you know what? The company you work for bills 40 probably or $45, $50 an hour for you to work because they got to pay you, and then they got to make some money and they got to pay workers' comp. They got to pay insurance. So he's like, I know at least that I'm going to double that. So whatever I used to make, so like say, what do you want to get paid an hour? Double it because the other part has to go to taxes and all that other stuff.
Mm.
So I already know that if I take a job, I know 8 feet of rail. I already know how much it costs money wise. I don't determine how much profit yet. I know it takes me about 8 hours to cut it, to paint it, and install it. 8 feet of rail. So I know that I have to at least Abe Duenas. I want to make $200 that day after
Mm.
taxes. So you know how much taxes are? They're a third of your wage. So you got to at least get paid $300. And then he told me I like my business to make a 5%. If a business is making 5% to 6% profit on the whole job, you're gonna make it. It'll build up. You'll
Mm.
build capital. So it's all those things. The same thing with the artist. You might think, oh, you know what, paper's free. No, they're not. The 70 cents marker, even if they're hoo-hoos, I spent $100 for that set. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. He's like, for me to even be in the black to get out of the red, I have to make so much money. And did I even consider how much um, money I not only spent on materials, but did I even consider how much I'm getting paid? Because at a certain point, when you start off, you're working for free, you know.
Yeah.
So when I finished this commission, this Mil Máscaras commission, believe it or not, the other stuff I sold, the commissions and stuff that I've done just on markers and stuff, I'm home free. So now I
Okay.
know that if somebody pays me for a $20 slap or whatever, that's and it took me. I'm embarrassed, man. This stuff takes me a long time. It takes me an hour to do a slap. Um, you
No
know,
shame in
I,
that, man. No shame.
so I'm making about $20 an hour, which really means I'm making less. But if they pay me cash,
and okay, man. I guess we're past the 30 mark. You still want to stay longer, man?
yeah, yeah,
Finish up
I'm
the
good.
hour?
That's fine. I'm good. I mean,
Okay,
this is the
cool.
most important part. Like, uh, not enough people ask how do you price your stuff, and you can't give your stuff away. Um, I can't stress that enough. And I used to hear that from other artists because and I used to think, oh, they're just saying that because they don't want no competition. Same thing with photographers. You've probably seen this, like Joe Blow gets himself a nice camera, nice lens, some lights or whatever. And he's over there shooting $20 headshots. Okay, that's great. I mean, I don't care. I used to see that and say, "Hell, man, that's the guy's taking my business." But I don't want the business that from somebody that's only willing to pay $20 to do a headshot Because by the time you take time out of your day, your gas, your equipment, yes, you will get a lot of shoots. You will. But then, those cameras, they only have a shutter life of 100,000, pictures.
Yeah.
So for every picture you take, you're basically giving away um, you're just giving it away. Literally, you're
I
giving it away,
get it.
and you can't last like that unless you're
Yeah,
just doing it for fun. If you're doing it for fun, man, don't even worry about price. If someone's just happy to get your stuff and put it on their wall, then that's good too. Whatever makes you happy.
for sure. And right now, guys, for the room, I'm gonna go ahead and open up for questions. Right below at the bottom, there's like a little deck of cards looking thing. It has like a little question mark. Make sure if you got questions for Abe, definitely put them in there. That way they could pop up on the screen. But let's go ahead and Tone Deaf Guy. Uh, he says, "How do you know when to start selling your work?"
Um, that's a good question. Because I was fortunate enough that I think I started selling some of these things, but they were from people. I didn't start off from nothing. Um, People that were buying my ironwork, people that are buying other things I've done creatively. They saw what I was doing. Oh man, can I get that? How much is that? And I literally was surprised. I was like, well, uh, I was trying, like I did what probably anybody else would do and look up my what's Bruce charging for slabs, and like
Okay.
20 bucks, and then shipped, and they're like, okay, and the PayPal you the money or whatever. And so, but if I have to go all the way back to when I started doing ironwork, I think you're ready to start selling things when like I guess your peers give you the compliments, because the compliments are always going to come from your family, your friends, and they're gonna want to be they're gonna want to endorse your work. They're gonna want to validate you. But
Mm-hmm.
it's when your peers say, "Hey, you know what? That's pretty good." And there's social media. That's one of the reasons I even joined that whole tournament. I knew there were so many talented artists, but I just wanted to be part of the guys. I
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And I may have only gotten like five different artists to vote for me, but those votes meant uh, more than my friends. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I knew, I said I can't expect all these great artists to like throw their hat in the Abe ring because I just getting started. But to get one here and there, I was like, oh my goodness, Cyber, he got it. TJ Mars
So TJ,
and TJ, you got it.
TJ, man, send me your info, brother. I'll ship this out for you. Nice deco, Hero Academia.
And so,
Man, he was
yeah,
searching for a while.
he was, man.
Yeah, he
I'm
he was.
impressed and not impressed. But good job, TJ. But I can't remember what Thalo said. Yes, you are a Jedi Master. But see, that's what I'm trying to say. That I just wanted to be part of the crew, right?
Mm-hmm.
If anything that I feel like I could um, have contributed to the whole experience was this is how you get people to do this for you, like call in a favor and then come and vote for you. At
Okay.
least I could say, hey, I know how to get people to support my work. You know what I mean? Even if it's not as good as everybody else's. Because at the end of the day, one of the persons that voted for me was the one that said, "Hey, how much for that slack?" And then I was like, "Well, I sold it for I think like 95 bucks with the frame, you know."
Yeah.
And so, as for anything I can contribute, it was I know how to promote, how to get people to come out and show up, and that is, in my opinion, is as valuable as creating the great artwork. Because how many artists have created wonderful masterpieces and they weren't recognized till after they died? So
Yeah.
it's not going to
That's
do
true.
you any good to produce wonderful art and not know how to market yourself. So I have learned that over the past 25 years of doing this kind of work, not this, but just being
Yeah.
creative. That this is how you market yourself. This is how, and a lot of it is hustle. A lot of it is going and connecting with people.
And okay, perfect. Perfect segue to what Fat Cap'n just asked. Well, I don't know if he's asking a question or it looks more like a statement, but he says, "I need some art for sure. We need to connect,"
Hmm.
and that is something that I've shared with people. It's like, um, not only am I trying to build this here,
Hmm.
just to give you guys and myself, just an outlet, but it's also for networking. And
Right.
I think one of the biggest things, or one of the biggest ways to grow, not just as an artist, but to grow a page if you want, or the name for yourself, is to go ahead and network with people,
Yeah.
um, network with people, collaborate as much as you can. But that goes back to the same point that you made earlier, which is make sure that you're collaborating with somebody, with
Right.
like minds,
Right.
Don't, I've seen many artists, but that are very good at their technique, but they just don't do anything with it,
Right.
They don't know how to talk to people or work with others. And it's like, well, you're kind of limiting yourself.
Well,
So,
this having this show is I think a wonderful thing on what you're doing, because it's
thank
almost
you.
like a little training wheels to be able to just talk to somebody, and then so when they go out in the real world and they need to connect with folks that just buy art. For instance, let's say I had some advice for somebody that is feels a little unsure about your artwork, all right, but you have had a lot of compliments on it. You got a lot of likes. Let's say you put out the latest slap and then someone's like just blowing up with likes. That's a good indication that you are doing something right. So what would you do? Here's a perfect example of me connecting with the right person. All right. There's a guy I didn't know at the time. He works for the South Carolina Minority Arts Council, and he was actually also part of the board for Palmetto Luna, which is a Latino advocacy group. And
Okay.
so I knew that he was going to be at an art show supporting a Spanish professor that was putting on a Latino show for his art students. All right. So I knew he was coming there because I followed him on social media. Follow the people that you want to connect with. And when they're in your area, try to go and do what I did. I went to the Wofford College, sat through his presentation. Afterwards, it's hard going right up to people, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. I went over there, hey
Mm-hmm.
man, I am so glad you're even here. I've been in this area for over 20 years and then I even know you existed. He's like, no, we just started like 4 years ago. And like, great. And so he had this activity planned afterwards. I took my daughter and I just talked to him and said, look, man, I'd love to connect with you on Facebook on a personal level. Mind if I just think? He's like, yeah, yeah, that's great. And I told him, look, I know he does things because of his presentation. He puts things on. Say, hey, if you ever need, I'd love to be involved. Just let me know. And at that time, I'm not thinking, yeah, he's gonna hire me. I didn't think that. I'm just thinking this guy knows people. I need to know him. A powerful Latino that works for the government knows other people, other Latinos that have money. That if they're gonna buy artwork, they're probably gonna support other Latinos. It's just you make those connections little by little.
Yeah.
And so now, fast forward a year later, um, I've been commissioned by the organization to do two videos on the census. I have been commissioned to that Mil Máscaras is his for
Oh,
one.
okay. Cool.
Just so many opportunities have come just because I met that one person, and that's not counting the other people I have met through
Branch
him
off. Yeah. Yeah. The
that
branch
will
off.
that will mean it will do something for me maybe a year from now or 2 years from now. So you see, it's that effort. Yeah, everybody wants to stay home and binge watch the next show, but if you say, hey, after hours there's this event, it's strategically you go and you meet these people that want. And you know what he tells me? He's like, I want to see you succeed. Other There's people that are like him that want to see other Latinos or wherever group or tribe you're in, they want to see you succeed. if they don't know who you are, if they don't connect, then they're not going to be able to give you like, hey, you know what he did? He's like, hey, Abe, I know about a grant. You should apply. He's all, you know what? Um, Apply for the grant and say that you're going to be applying as a collaborator with Palmetto Luna. And we did. I got that $5,000 grant, you
Awesome.
know, because I went out there and my phone's like dying. I'm like, why am I going lower and lower?
You're
I'm
gonna
over
end
here
up on the
sinking on a
floor.
boat. I'm gonna be like, hey guys, hey! I'm like low riding it over here. But it's making those connections, and I'm not, I'm not gonna try to. I'm not trying to say go be stalking people, but there it goes again. All right, I'm gonna just like handheld this baby. Um, I have. Let's see. Oh. All right. Well, here, let's flip the camera. So I had my little sculpture here,
Hold
and
on.
I had this magic arm hooked on it, but it just slid off eventually after being on here for so long. But yeah, that's in a nutshell. Um, that's what it takes. It takes,
Okay.
sacrifice on your part to go and just, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go do this.
Let's see. The talented Mr. D says the Slap game started and thrives with trades, collabs, and such. How do you balance this and selling?
Um, well, I haven't really done any collaborations or any trades right as of yet. I mean, that doesn't mean I wouldn't mind doing one. Um, I think, like I mentioned earlier, creative people, we're so sensitive. we're, we get our feelings hurt easy too. I'd hate to hurt anybody's feelings that to say, hey, can you want to do a trade, and then I go and see their work, and I don't, not that I think it's bad, that it's like, whoa, that's not my thing. So if anybody does want to collaborate with me, I'm open to it. But you can look at my stuff, you see my style is very PG.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's kind of like, I wouldn't want to do anything to offend anybody or tell them they have to change on my behalf. But I love collecting all styles of work, and that's why I have my personal space here. I know if I put something up here, it's not gonna offend anybody because this is mine, and I don't have to worry about, you know.
No word. Let's see. We got a couple more questions. Let's see if we can fly through this. TJ Mars says, "How's it feel putting Halo down?"
Man, I already covered this. I mean, I feel like one of those quarterbacks at the end that they have a contest and one comes out on top, and it had nothing to do. You ever hear how they say, "Hey, we are the better team. We just didn't bring it today," and that's exactly how I feel about Thalo. He's the better artist. I mean, I'm not gonna even pretend. The guy, I mean, just go to his page. I mean, you have to be blind and not see that he is miles ahead of my abilities as a 2D artist. He brings the experience. I mean, he's awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, that, like I already said, that's the guy I'm looking at right now. You guys want to get good? Go study Thalo, Kronik. Those are two guys right now I'm looking at. There's other ones I can't remember their handles, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going over there. I'm worse than those Chinese people that imitate stuff and put out imitations. That's me right now. I'm like China, and they're the real deal.
No,
But
no, no, no such thing, man. It's always a growing curve that we go through. You know what I mean?
yeah, but it was all, like I said before, it was just about uh, he brought his talent, and I just brought my the people I have met in the past to support me. That's the only reason that went down the way it did.
Yeah. Let's see what's in the chat room. Hey, thanks, Vinny. Appreciate it. I am better than Thalo. I'm just joking, Jedi. I'm just joking.
Gonna give you some force lightning.
All right. I'm saying, oh, he's coming. He got me. Let's see. Fat Captain says, "Want to collab? I do graph." Uh,
Yeah, Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely hit him up. DM Abe, uh, and
I
check
was
it out.
Gutter Baby, another artist that has my deepest respect, only because I wanted to see Gutter Baby and Thalo in the finals, and then she like I think she sent me a DM or something. I can't remember how it went down, but she's like, "Nah, don't quit," because I was literally gonna lay down and say, "Nah, you got this. I'm not even gonna put the word out." And she's like,
Yeah,
"Nah, that's not the way I want it." Which you gotta have a lot of respect for somebody to not take it easy when to say basically tell me, "Look, nobody gives me anything." And so I said, well, she's telling me to bring the lumber. I brought it, and then I'm still bummed the way that turned out. Because her and Thalo, her technique. I mean, I'm not saying the subject, but her technique and her execution and Thalo's. It was two different sides of the spectrum.
yeah.
Thalo brought his his style, and she brought her style, and I would have loved to see how it just panned out organically, but that's on
Let's
her.
let's see. Let's go ahead and do one. Let's do one quick, two quick questions. The first one is by Vinny. Let's see if we could spend about less than a minute. Do you enjoy drawing animation?
Um, I feel like yeah, I do. I mean, if I'll tell you a quick story. It's a tearjerker. I think I told you, you and Bruce, I was going to tell you this one day. All right. So Garfield was my joint, right? Garfield, when
Yeah,
I was a kid, I loved him and I drew him, and so animation, I love drawing animation. I still love drawing it now, and like there's so many characters I want to get to. But the reason I kind of like gave up a little bit, we used to live in a single white trailer. Imagine 9 Mexicans, in the trailer. And so my brothers and I, we lived in the living room of the trailer. If you know anything about single wides, it's the living room, kitchen, a couple bedrooms in the bathroom, and that's it, you know. And so
yeah.
we lived in there, and we had a fold-out bed. Three of my brothers slept on it, and my big brother and me, we slept on the side on the ground. So we had these family over that didn't have kids. Um, one Sunday afternoon, and the wife was like looking around and looking at all my Garfields in the living room, just taped everywhere. I mean, I had every square inch of that living room taped.
Nice.
So she says, "What's up with all these Garfields?" And that embarrassed my dad so bad that he went and just tore them all down, like
Oh
like right
no.
like right there in front of them. And so I'm like, I was brought up to just you don't say nothing unless you're addressed. So I'm just like trying to hold it in as much as I can.
Oh
I
no.
was like, oh man, I'm like trying to use the force. The force is a crock. It doesn't exist because it would have worked
Uh,
then. So I'm just like, oh man, hold it in, Abe, hold it. And then what made it worse was she looked over. She's like, oh look, he's crying. And I was like, ah!
oh
I
my
was like
god.
Kermit, ah! And I just ran off, which I couldn't run too far because it's a single wide. So I ran to my dad's room, which was the last room.
No
And so
way.
I'm over there like trying to, compose myself. And then, because I was so embarrassed in 5 different ways from Sunday.
Yeah.
And so my dad, I hear his footsteps coming to the room, and I'm like, oh, silver lining. My dad's gonna be like, oh dang, I screwed up. I messed up. He comes in there. It made it worse because hey, stop crying. That whole, I don't
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
exactly what he said, but it was something along the ways of, I'll give you something to cry about kind of deal. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
that bad, but it was around like, and I was like, I'm trying, Dad, I'm trying. He's like, okay, come back out here. And so I had to come back out there. And
Oh
so
man.
I did not draw Garfield for like, I haven't drawn him. And so I got all jacked up because my daughter, she comes up to me, she's like, check this out, Dad. And then you know how things just sometimes go full circle, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, kind of, you feel it. Well, guess what she drew me?
Garfield.
Garfield. And
Oh.
and I never told her that story. It's funny how things, and you're kind of like, ah. And I just looked at her, so you don't know how good you have it. And she's like, huh? And like, you know, the drawing, you like it? No, I said, I love it. You have no idea what that has done to me right now. And so seeing Bruce and just seeing how happy he was drawing and all that, it just really kind of inspired me. It's like, I'm just gonna, I answer to myself, you know, um, those people, they're not in my life anymore. I mean, my dad is, and the weird thing is, my dad is like the biggest promoter right now of everything I do. It's like he's not the same person. He's changed, and he feels so bad about it, and he tells me, and he doesn't have to get drunk to tell me this, like other Latinos have
Yeah.
to do, but he tells me like, son, he's like, I was wrong. He's like, but I was brought up different. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
and I try to project that on you, but he's like, I'm so proud of you, and so
Yeah.
sometimes we have to go through things
Well,
to make our work so good.
well, I think your next slap should be a Garfield. Frame it and give it to your father.
That's a great idea, dude. But
I,
he
I'm being
does.
serious. I'm being like 100%
No,
serious. I mean,
no,
it
man, that's
definitely
a great idea.
it had a big impression on you, and
Hmm.
to the point where it's gotten to your father now, where he went ahead and he apologized.
That's really that is, dude.
I think it's not only, I mean, it's a simple character, but it's a very deep character for both of you.
Dude,
I
my mind has just been is flooded with all these ideas, and his anniversary's in a couple weeks.
There
But
you go.
I think I just threw my idea out the window.
Yeah, dude, definitely. I think it would be an awesome, it's. I think you'll see a tear from your dad, man, on that one.
Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really good, Jim. And
You
so
know?
just I mean, this whole conversation was amazing, but that right there was the
Yeah,
highlight. Thanks.
yeah, definitely, definitely, man. And I think that would bring some sort of closure, to one of the worst chapters. You know what I mean? As far as you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of those things that it's so funny when you are happy and you're living the life you want. Um, I don't think I could have told that story 20 years ago, but I'm in such a wonderful place right now that it's just another story right now.
yeah.
But there
Amen.
is, like you said, like you're right, as far as that closure, I never thought of that. But that would I think I need to draw. Look, my dad
Yeah.
was a welder. I'm gonna draw Garfield as
A
like
welder.
welding,
Oh my God.
and
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect.
that's gonna,
Awesome, dude. Can't wait to see it.
man. Man, I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, there you go. Some motivation. Um, Last few minutes. We're down to maybe 3 more minutes. Let's use the last 2 minutes to uh, any tips, man. Any tips you have for new artists coming up, people getting into art, not just drawing or painting, but just any type of art or any type of creative background or force. Anything you could give them that might
Yeah,
help them out.
I think. Look, there's going to people, and it's they say that sometimes the people that hurt you the most, or can hurt you the most, are the ones that are closest to you. But don't take it as they're coming from a bad place. My dad
Eh,
only did that because he was afraid I would be a penniless
mhm.
a person that was begging. He taught me how to weld when I was 14 years old, and he looked at me. He said, "Look, if you never use this in your life, that's up to you. But I'm doing my part to teach you something that's the only thing I know how to teach you that I'm very good at. So if you never use it, then it's fine, but you have it." And he gave me what he could. And I have a theory that, every generation makes mistakes. Of course, I've made them. But if we don't try to improve on our family, then what are we really doing here? And I think I look back at the progression. I look at how my dad was brought up and his stories. I mean, that little tearjerker I just said, that can't touch just one of the better stories my dad had to go through with his dad. What I mean,
Mhm.
as far as having that heavy hard hand. So my dad was actually, he improved on it. He was a better dad than his dad, and so that's all I'm trying to do is be a better father than my father. And so don't let things hurt you. Pick yourself up. You know, even if you have to give yourself some time, there's communities like this that will encourage you to, you know, get better. Find those people that will help you, you know, take it to the next level, because there's